My name is Philip Schwartz. For giving our stories titles, mine is called The Woman in the Wheelchair Who Didn't Have a Hat. So I didn't ask her name. I feel badly about that, the elderly woman in the wheelchair. But in fairness, she didn't ask my name either. So this is her story, and it's my story, and it's also the story of the coldest night in January 2009. I'm going for takeout just west of the intersection of Central Avenue, Washington Avenue, and Lark Street in Albany, where those streets come together. And I walk into this takeout place called Mamoun's. They specialize in Syrian and Lebanese cuisine. And I walk in from the cold, and my glasses fog up. So one sense is robbed, and then another sense is given. And the sense of that Middle Eastern cuisine, it kind of hits you way up here in the nose, like, you know, bypasses the beginning and hits you right up here in that kind of pungent, sweet smell of Middle Eastern cuisine. And I go up, and we'll get to the lady in the wheelchair in a second, though. We got to set the table here. So I go up, and it's Friday night, and I had worked all week, and it was a long week, and my wife is at home, and she's wanting takeout, and I'm wanting takeout, and I'm hungry, and I look at the menu, and I start ordering all these things, baba ganoush, and pickled carrots, and kebabs, and several things have combination platter in the name. So the gentleman tallies it up, and it comes to $50, and it's like, whoa, it's expensive takeout for the night, but whatever. So then he says it's 40 minutes. So I think, okay, what do I do for 40 minutes when it's 10 degrees outside and the wind chill is negative 2.8? I can't just walk around. Normally I just take a walk and come back. So I look behind the bar, and they don't serve alcohol, because I thought, you know, maybe a glass of wine after a tough week would be nice. So you know, I ended up going back out on the street, and the cold air, you know, hits my head like almost like it's like eating ice cream too fast. You know, it's that cold. And I decided to go get that glass of wine, and I find this wine bar nearby, right around the corner on Lark Street. And I go down in the wine bar and order a too expensive glass of wine to treat myself after a long week, and read the New York Times on my iPhone. It's 2009, smartphones that exist, so I'm reading the New York Times and drink my glass of wine. 40 minutes are up, so I go back out on the street, and I remember that my wife had given me this top coat for Christmas, and it's this nice, long, elegant black coat, and I'm all bundled up, got my scarf on, my leather gloves, a fedora, which isn't quite doing the job, but it's, you know, better than nothing. And I remember feeling so grateful for that coat because, you know, hey, it looked good, and it was also very warm, you know, so that was good. So I turn the corner, and there's the woman in the wheelchair, and she's right on the corner, and she's near this building, and I don't take her too much notice, and there's a lot of people. It's like 6 o'clock. It's rush hour. You know, people are kind of coming to and fro. And I just kind of shimmy up against the building. Her chair's right here, and she starts screaming. And my first thought is that I've invaded her space, you know, and I feel badly about that. And then I realize, no, she's crying for help. Something's wrong. And so I think maybe she's been robbed or something. So I turn to her and I say, "What's wrong? Are you okay? Do you need help?" And she's sitting and kind of like dancing in her chair, kind of like a 6-year-old who might have to go to the bathroom. And she says, "I have to pee so bad. You have to help me." And I said, "Okay, well, there's that food court right behind you. Just, you know, go in there, and they have a bathroom." "They just kicked me out of there. They just kicked me out of there." So she doesn't have a hat on, right? And it's negative 2.8 degrees. I just looked it up the other day, what the temperature was that night, because it was Martin Luther King weekend too. It was Friday. So I could go back, and I looked at the date, and I said, oh yeah, it was negative 2.8 degrees with the wind chill. So no hat on, her neck is completely exposed, no gloves, and she has her foot, one foot's like raised up on the chair, and she doesn't have a shoe on. She has just this giant sock pulled over what I assume is like her swollen foot. I don't know her whole story. I didn't bother to ask her name. So she's saying, "I gotta go pee." you need to help me. And before I thought it through, next thing I know, I'm pushing her across the street. And I'm pushing her, and I'm helping. I'm the guy there to help. And I kind of feel good. Okay, I'm taking care of business. I'm going to get her to a bathroom. And then I didn't quite realize how complicated that would be. And I think, well, I'll just go to the library. The library's right down the block. Then I realized, oh, it's Friday. The library's closed early on Friday. So I said, oh, there's that Indian place up there. So I wheel her up to the Indian restaurant, and I never noticed before, there's a step about that high. And that step is keeping us, out on the street, essentially, and keeping us from getting into the bathroom. So I turn up the street, and I'm going away from downtown. And then I notice a Mexican restaurant, this brand new Mexican restaurant that had just opened, kind of an elegant place. And I thought, oh, this would be a nice place to come back to and have a nice meal. So I said, there's no step in front, I'll go in front. So I open the door, and there's kind of like a little foyer area, so I kind of shimmy her through, and I'm watching her leg that's sticking up, and I get her over, and this is hard. I'm not used to doing this kind of thing. And then I walk into the Mexican restaurant, and immediately I feel like, wow, we're not in the right spot. And she's screaming, I need the bathroom, I need the bathroom, somebody help me, I need the bathroom. And I look over, and there's this nice couple having a nice glass of wine and dinner, and there's white linen tablecloths, and there's candles on the tables. And then the maitre d' comes out of nowhere, and she says, can I help you? And the tone, though, was more like, I can't help you. So I say, hey, just let us use the bathroom. We'll just, go down there, and it'll just take us 2 minutes. And I should have warned the woman in the wheelchair to just be quiet. Let me do the talking. But instead, she's like, get me to a bathroom, quick, quick. And this is a quiet restaurant, and she's screaming at the top of her lungs. So the woman says, the bathrooms just won't accommodate a chair. We just can't do it. She said, just get me to the bathroom. I'll hobble in the door. And the woman's saying, oh, no. So I'm feeling like, oh, gosh, I really want to help this lady. And these people over here, they're having a nice dinner. And then the maitre d', if she lets me, take her to the bathroom, she could lose her job. So I'm like, I got all these competing things going on. So, the funny thing about helping people is that you can choose to help, and then you could be really bad at it. And I kind of was bad at it. And I wish my sister were there. My sister would have just taken charge, and she would have just insisted, and that would have been it. So no, she had me. She didn't have my sister, she had me. So I, feeling badly, I kind of wheel her out, and then she's like, what are you doing? What are you doing? She starts yelling at me. Come on, I have to go to the bathroom. So she's like accusing me of being incompetent at helping her. And so this is where it kind of turned ugly, and I'm started yelling back at her. I'm saying, I'm doing the best I can here, lady. What else you got? You got me. So I wheel her back out on the street, and I'm pushing her up the street, and she says, I got my checkbook on me. I'll pay you for this. And I said, I don't want your money. And then we hit, it just snowed like the week before, so we hit this big chunk of ice, and she nearly goes over. And I'm like pulling her back from the brink, and she's like, what are you doing to me? What are you doing to me? You're gonna kill me here. And I was like, I'm doing the best I can. So, I get her going, and I go into the H&R Tax place, and I go into the pizza place, and I'm going in, and everyone's saying, no bathroom here. It's the same as the Mexican restaurant. And she's screaming everywhere she goes. And I feel badly for her, too. There's this sense of urgency because she has to go. She really has to go. And what if she does go? And it's cold. It's the coldest night of the year. So I'm pushing her down, and then, so I get some of her story. She lives in this city called Schenectady, which is like 20 miles away. And I said, how did you get here from Schenectady? She's like, I took the bus. And I get the sense that she can't wheel herself around. And so I said, well, you took the bus from Schenectady to Albany, why? And she said, well, I had a doctor's appointment. And I said, well, how are you getting around? And she's like, oh, I manage. People help me out. So I guess I'm just like one in a string of people that day, just wheeling around. And she's not the nicest person. I mean, you do want to help, but she's not really that nice. So I get her going, and then I'm passing Mamoon's, and I'm like, oh, my food. It's warm still. And I think I don't want to bring her in there. You know, I'm a customer there, but this isn't going to work. So I find this dive bar, and I open up the door, and there's this tiny little vestibule in the front, and there's like 6 people in this tiny little vestibule smoking. You know, in New York State, you can't smoke inside in bars. But it's too cold to smoke outside, so they're all crowded in this vestibule, and it's filled with smoke. And I come in, and I have her, and we're like this funny pair, you know, because she's like, you know, she's you know, this crazy lady with this crazy gray hair, and I got my, you know, my smart coat on, and so I push her through the vestibule, and these people, they're helping, they're grabbing parts of the chair, and they're pulling me in, and I'm thinking too, like, what happens when I get her to the bathroom? Like, do I have to like physically bring her in? And so she had kind of cleared that up. She had said, just get me to the door, and then you're done. I can do the rest. And I was good. I think I'm doing enough. This is beyond my comfort zone as it is. So I get her into the dive bar, and there's pool tables. I'm wheeling around the pool tables, and I get up to the bathroom, and you know, I had reached my limit. I leaned over, and I said, I did what I said I was going to do. I got you to the door of the bathroom. Now I have someplace I want to be. And I left her life, and I went back into my own. And I walked down, and I still heard her. You know, when I walked out of that place, she was screaming, somebody help me, I got to get in the bathroom. So I pick up my takeout, I go home, tell my wife the story. The dinner's cold, $50 wasted. I get up, I go to the furnace, I turn up the heat. Our brand new furnace in the basement fires up. I sit down, and there's that stinging guilt. That stinging guilt when you know that this cold meal is the worst problem you have of the night. Thank you.